All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Murphy has just ended, and we're going to my full card post-fight reactions. This was not the best card. I'm kind of tired of these Apex cards. Next weekend we have a good one. I'm excited for next weekend. We're gonna start off with the first fight I watched of the night: Martin Budai versus Iran. That fight. Stalibali. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, he came in on Euron came in on 3 days' notice, and I believe it was a 29-28 unanimous decision for Martin Boudet. The only round that I thought Euron could have won, I believe it was the third round. He dropped Martin. Could not get the finish. There was a very big weight discrepancy in this fight. I believe Martin weighed in at like 266, and Euron weighed in at. They're serious over there. Weighed in at like 220 or 222. So a pretty sizable weight advantage for Martin Budai. Okay, whatever the fuck. I can pull this shit up and stop. Yep. The third round. Yeah, all three judges gave Euron the third round. He did the did the better shots, landed more damage, was able to somewhat come close to the finish, but not really. They both kind of look like Euron looked like maybe if he was fighting a light heavyweight, he'd have some success. So I'm assuming that's where he normally fights at. Martin Budai is not good. So poopy. Moving up, we have Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao. Victor Henry gets this was not a unanimous. He got a TKO. Did he? What fight am I thinking of where he got the knockout? Second round. I'm thinking of the Reese McKee fight. The Victor Henry, I remember this now. Essentially, what you have is Victor Henry being able to keep it standing, landing the better shots, landing the powerful shots. Definitely the fresher fighter when it was coming to the third round. You could tell a difference. He was being able to be out grappled a little bit, but most of the time he was able to work back up to his feet or reverse position and do damage. How much to say? Old. I think he's like 37 years old at bantamweight. I really don't think he's gonna have a bantamweight run in him. So again, a shitty Apex fight that nobody cares about. Moving up the card, I'd have to go back and rewatch this fight. But when I was watching this live, we have Luma Lookboom versus Estela Nunez. I thought Estela Nunez was gonna win. I think I tweeted out like, let's see if I pull it up real quick, because I remember watching it live. Yeah, I said I have a 29-28 Nunez, but the first round was close. So I'm assuming the judges gave the first and third round to Luma Lookboom. The second round, Nunez controlled her. I think it was the majority of the round with the grappling. I will tell you. One judge had 30-27 for Luma Lookboom. I don't know how you can score that second round for her. She was getting out grappled. Other than that, she looked good in the third round. Looked good in the first round. Again, the first round was probably the most competitive round of the fight. Not much to say. I think that they put a stat on the screen that what is she like the win streak of 4, like second highest in the division, something like that. Yeah, the second longest active win streak in the women's strawweight division at 4, outside of the champion. Real deep division there. Moving up, we have Reese McKee versus Daniel Fruenza. Daniel Fruenza loses via doctor stoppage. Reese McKee dropped him like 4 or 5 times in the. I thought he was able to find the finish. I was also worried, is he gonna gas out? Because he's throwing all this volume, he's throwing all these strikes, he's hurting Daniel. But if he can weather the storm, can he survive it? Let McKee gas out and then come back and get the finish later on in the fight. Didn't matter. Every time McKee would hurt him, he would stay calm. He wouldn't just rush in there looking for the finish because Daniel was thrown back with some power on it. So you could see him like a lot of the time. Like would get out of the way of the shots. He would see them come and dodge them, and then throw a counter back. The initially I thought it was a stoppage because of the eye. His eye was all swollen up, but it was actually I guess a stoppage because his lip was cut. And I think it was Dana White tweeted it out. Someone a close up of his lip, like in the ambulance, and it's pretty fucked up. So I've never seen TKO via lip stoppage before, but I guess we got the first one, and Reese McKee gets his first win in the UFC. Moving up, the featured prelim, Daniel Belbita versus or Diana Belbita versus Diona Barbosa. Barbosa wins via first round. It was a head and arm choke. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a head and arm choke. First round arm triangle. Barbosa was just marching her down the whole time, hitting her with shots, landing shots, clean power shots. Belbita was just eating the shots. You could tell, even though she was taking the shots and still moving forward and throwing shots of her own, when she would land the shots on Barbosa, it's like it didn't even affect her. You could tell when Belbita was getting hit with these shots that they hurt and they bothered her, but she still kept going. With Barbosa, it's like it didn't even phase her at all. Eventually, Barbosa was able to get her down. I want to say, did she trip her and land in full mount? Or it might have been half guard. I can't remember. But eventually she got setting up the arm triangle and got over. And I think she was near the fence. And she threw her legs up to try to trap her arm in to try and relieve some of the pressure. Wasn't able to do it. Barbosa has that little manly squeeze on her and got the submission. Not much to say. Moving up, probably the worst fight of the night. Although I didn't watch the very first fight of the night, so if it was worse than this one, let me know in the comment section down below. We have Torres Finney versus Robert Valentin. Torres Finney wins via a split decision. I have no clue how the one judge scored this fight for Robert Valentin. Absolutely no clue. Essentially, outside of the third round, the first two rounds, really nothing happened, and Finney was able to get Valentin down. I wish they had the time of how much control time he had per round. Doesn't. Finney would get him down like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute into the round, and hold him there the entire time. Especially like, even if you wanted to make the argument. So Valentin, I gave Finney the last round just based off of control. But Valentin did land damaging shots in the third round. So if you want to give Valentin the third round, that's fine. And Finney would still win 29-28. I see people arguing online that, like, the 3 shots Valentin landed in the first round somehow won him the round, even though it was completely controlled the entire first round. I don't understand that at all. You're stupid if you think Valentin won this fight. He did not win this fight. Finney won via very boring decision. I'm not looking forward to seeing him fight ever again. Keep him in the apex. Keep Torres Finney in the apex. Or cut him. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise if he got cut. I'm assuming that's why he had 3. I didn't watch his fights on the Contender Series at all. I'm assuming he had boring ass fights like this. And that's why Dana White did not want to sign him. I don't know if they don't usually cut people off of losses. I mean, sometimes they do. I'm trying to think of the guy recently they done. He's a French guy. It might be William Gomez. I don't know if I have that right or not, but they cut him when he's on a winning streak. Would not surprise me if they cut Torres Finney while he's on a winning streak with that boring of a performance. I understand, okay, you're good at wrestling. You get the takedown. You're good at controlling. But at least do some damage or look for a submission. He wasn't doing either of those things. So it's not fun to watch. Fucking do something with it. Moving up the card. We have Ode Osborne. This is the fight I was thinking about. We have Ode Osborne versus Luis Grulla. First round, a little hesitant on the feet at first. Ode is landing a little bit. Lewis is able to get him down and control him for, I think it was about half of the first round. So I did give the first round to Lewis. I thought it was pretty clearly. the exchanges on the feet were kind of even. So with him getting like I think it was about half the round of control time, it was pretty clear round for Lewis. And then in that second round, Ode catches him with the right hand. Oh, I mean the left hand, as he got called out. Michael Bisping got called out in the post fight for saying it was a right hand when he hit him with a left hand. Hit him with the left hand, dropped him. Almost looked like he wanted to do a walk off KO, but the ref didn't jump in and stop it. So he went back in, hit him with some ground and pound shots, and got the TKO finish for Ode Osborne. I figured he was going to win. It's the grappling. That's his biggest deficiency, is in the grappling. He needs to work on his grappling if he wants to have any success in this flyweight division. He's constantly, that's just how he loses, is he gets out grappled. Especially in his last fight. Getting out grappled by Ronaldo Rodriguez is not a good look at all. He's got good striking, so definitely he needs to work on the grappling, work on the gas tank. He didn't really need the gas tank in this fight, but works on that grappling. I think he's pretty good in the striking department. He'll be solid. Moving up the card. If this if this wasn't like the most one-sided beatdown fight of the night, I don't know what is. I mean, obviously, the Finney Torres fight, or Torres Finney, whatever the fuck. The 29-28. Yeah. With Mearshart winning the third. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. That's how I scored it. I was just making sure how the UFC scored it. Or the judges scored it. We have Brad Tavares versus Gerald Mearshart. You could very easily tell the big striking discrepancy in this matchup. Tavares definitely had the more powerful shots and was definitely the better, more technical striker on the feet. Didn't throw a whole lot of kicks because he didn't want him to get caught and get taken down. But Mearshart could not get him down the entire fight. He might have gotten him down like on a knee briefly, but Tavares popped right back up. He wasn't accredited for any takedowns tonight. And I kind of knew this going into it. Like, Mearshart's not good on the feet at all. I have no clue who's doing so good against RDR. I mean, he's pretty bad on the feet as well. So that's probably how. But yeah, I didn't think he'd be able to get Tavares down. Tavares has very good takedown defense, and I didn't think Mearshart would be able to. He got in pretty deep on a couple of takedown entries, a couple of single legs, and he wasn't able to get him down. Tavares would get back up to the fence and keep his position, and then try to reverse, and he'd get out. Third round, Mearshart did win with, he was rushing forward a lot, throwing combinations, landing combinations on Brad Tavares, and Tavares was kind of keeping his hands low a little bit, worried about trying to defend a takedown, and that's how Mearshart was able to win that third round. He might have had a little bit of clinch control time. I was kind of in and out of watching this fight. Probably the best fight on the card. Yeah, I would say so. So definitely excited to see Tavares out there in his next fight. Again, a couple older veterans going at it. Both have a lot of fights in the UFC. Tavares actually tied Michael Bisping for most wins in the UFC middleweight division. Moving up, Cortavius Romeus versus Chang Ho Lee. Chang Ho Lee gets it done via second round TKO. I mean, this was a pretty dominant win by Chang Ho Lee. First round, gets Romeus down, holds him down the whole first round. Not the whole first round, but most of the first round. Romeus doesn't really have much to offer. Gets a couple reversals and a couple takedowns of his own in between the first and second round. But it's like Lee would just rush forward at him. They were doing some wild, crazy exchanges, especially in the very beginning of the first round. And then Lee would get him down, hold him down, work, and eventually, second round, was able to get him down and get the TKO finish. Romeus isn't that good. I think not the last fight he had in the UFC, when I was doing a prediction for that fight, I remember going back and watching, I can't remember if it was one or two fights before that. He was fighting I can't remember what this guy's record was. It was like 15-13. Some guy with a trash record. And he was having a super competitive fight. And I picked him in his last fight. I picked him in I don't think I picked him in this. I picked him in his last fight. I'm not picking him again. He probably doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. I'd say give him one more chance, and then if he loses that fight, go ahead and cut him. He just really didn't have anything to offer. I mean, he got eye poked. I thought maybe after he got eye poked, that he was going to be able to do something, but almost immediately gets taken down again. So Cortavius Romeus has nothing to offer for Chang Ho Lee, the Korean Habib, like he wants to be called. Moving up, the co-main event, Pat Sabatini versus Joanderson Brito. Absolute domination by Pat Sabatini. Took Joanderson Brito down every round, and Brito was not able to get back up. I think within the first 30 seconds of the first round, the second round, I think he a little bit longer, and then the third round had a little bit more of time on the feet. Brito did land some shots, and when you could tell, he was trying to knock him out. I did pick Joanderson Brito to be a first round KO. I thought he'd be able to find the chin of Pat Sabatini, and I thought he had at least somewhat decent takedown defense, but apparently not. The one thing the gripe I have about this fight is there were several times where Brito would be getting taken down. He would try to get a guillotine, couldn't get it, would get put in a Von Flue choke, and then Sabatini would just sit there in the Von Flue choke, not really choking him, and not moving on to try to do something else. Especially, I can't remember if it was the first or second round, he had him in that Von Flue choke for quite a while. He wasn't getting the choke. If you don't get the choke 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, move on. Go do some ground and pound. I know towards the end of the third round and maybe the second, he was doing some ground and pound. But for the most part, he wasn't. He was just controlling and looking for the Von Flue choke. Kind of boring fight. Just wasn't going for it enough. Sabatini, that was. I understand he was actively going for a submission, but he wasn't getting it, and he wasn't trying to do anything to get a submission. He was just going for the submission. He wasn't trying to soften Brito up with punches and then going for something. But yeah, don't really have anything else to say about that one. Moving on, the main event, poopy. Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Yeah, I got my prediction wrong. That's not why I'm salty about it. So, follow me on Twitter. You see that I scored the fight for Josh Emmett. I scored it for rounds 1, 4, and 5. Going back and rewatching, or excuse me, I didn't go back and rewatch it. I don't see how you give it 4-1 to Murphy. I think rounds 1 and rounds 4 were very clearly Josh, especially round 1. I think 1 was clear Josh Emmett round. But what you have in this fight is you have Josh Emmett just trying to go forward, knock Murphy out. And Murphy was kind of just counter striking, peppering stuff from the outside. It's like whenever Murphy would go forward, he would have success. He was chopping the legs of Josh Emmett a lot throughout this fight, especially doing the oblique kick. You could tell that was really getting to Emmett. And the body kick from when he was standing in southpaw was pretty good for Murphy in this fight. It was kind of boring, though. I mean, to me, Emmett was trying to find a finish in this fight, and he was trying to go for the finish. Murphy, and you could tell what little crowd was there, was booing his ass. He was just running away the entire fight. And I understand, like he said in his post-fight, with a guy like Emmett, you have to fight a certain way in order to win. And that's what he did. But it wasn't entertaining to watch. It was a boring fight. Emmett was waiting back and forth, throwing these big bombs, trying to catch Murphy and knock him out. And Murphy was trying to just evade and punch from a distance. Point fight, essentially. And that shit's boring. I don't want to see that. I want to see exciting fights. I want to see people going for, like, Emmett went for a takedown, picked him up, threw him on the ground. Going for ground and pound, or trying to at least. For like half a second, Murphy went for a triangle. Like, go for stuff. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Make it entertaining to watch. That's what we pay for this shit. Other than that, I'm probably wrong, Emmett. I mean, I scored it 3-2, Emmett, but I'm probably wrong. But I think for sure, I think Emmett definitely won rounds 1 and 4. 5 was pretty close. I thought Emmett slipped, but maybe Murphy did hit him, and he kind of slipped at the same time. I'd have to go back and see, but I'm not gonna go back and check it. Kind of a lackluster Apex card. Hopefully, I know I say hopefully. They either need to do one of two things: quit going to the Apex, maybe like once a month go to the Apex, or make it bigger, like where you can have more people in there, so we can get that vibe from the crowd. At least make it a little bit more entertaining, and put the big octagon in there. Don't have the little one. It makes it better when the bigger one. That's what she said. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this main event? Was it good? Are you tired of these Apex cards like I am? Let me know. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.